at it again as the Trump administration redefines human rights in the State Department's 2024 Human Rights Reports. Now let's take a look at the topics from previous years that have been removed from this year's report, including prison and detention center conditions, free public trial procedures. Now, these are the topics they say are no longer relevant in reporting human rights practices. Freedom of movement, freedom of peaceful assembly, the right to leave the country, citizenship, access to basic services, status and treatment of refugees, abuses or irregularities in recent elections, political parties, political participation, participation of women and members of marginalized or vulnerable groups. Remember, these are things they no longer consider relevant. Rape, discrimination, reproductive rights, child abuse, sexual exploitation of children. What do you think about this? Like, comment, follow for more content. Peace.
1,000 likes raises an interesting question. Why is the United States one of only 2 countries to vote against making food a human right? And that's especially odd considering that, according to the latest numbers from the UN World Food Program, the United States contributed more than half of all funding to the World Food Program. So countries that voted against making food a human right actually contributed more money to providing food than countries that voted for making food a human right. And I think we're in a situation where some countries want to talk about food being a human right, and other countries spend their money to provide food for people who need it. In 2017, when this vote was held, the United States issued a statement explaining why they were voting no. In the explanation, the U.S. points out that the right to food is already recognized in the UN Declaration of Human Rights. So re-acknowledging the right that's already established doesn't seem to serve a lot of purpose. And the resolution doesn't just say everyone has a right to food. It has over 50 numbered paragraphs and dozens of paragraphs that aren't numbered that recall and reaffirm and acknowledge many other documents and principles. It's like how in the U.S. legislature a bill might be titled the Do Good Things Act, but then the provisions of that bill might do completely unrelated or bad things. Just because you title your resolution something, that doesn't mean that that is just or only what the resolution does. The U.S. explanation points out that the UN resolution talks about pesticide usage, technology transfer, intellectual property, and trade-related issues, saying that the resolution suggests that states have particular extraterritorial obligations arising from a concept of a right to food. I think that's a reference to paragraph 29 of the resolution, which stresses that all states should make every effort to ensure that their international policies of a political or economic nature, including international trade agreements, do not have a negative impact on the right to food in other countries. So basically, every country, when considering any international economic or political decision, needs to ensure that it doesn't negatively impact any other country's right to food. So if the United States wanted to make a trade agreement with Argentina, we would have to check with every other country in the world to see if our trade agreement with Argentina negatively affected anyone else's right to food. That really doesn't seem reasonable. The last point I'll discuss, the U.S. explanation says that they regret the resolution contains no reference to the importance of agricultural innovations. And I think that's an important point, because the UN resolution does talk about the importance and positive role of small subsistence farmers. In paragraph 9, the resolution recognizes the importance of small and subsistence farmers, peasants, in developing countries. Paragraph 21 discusses the commitment to developing in conjunction with the indigenous peoples concerned, and where appropriate, policies, programs, and resources to support indigenous peoples' occupations, traditional subsistence activities, economies, livelihoods, food security, and nutrition. I think the U.S. explanation is an important point that subsistence farming, small subsistence farming, is an inefficient way to produce food and provide food to people who need it. Subsistence farmers, by definition, barely make enough food to support themselves. So if you were serious about trying to move away from hunger, you would not be stressing the importance of subsistence farming. You would be focusing on agricultural innovations to produce more food. And the resolution doesn't do that at all. Instead, it's focusing on producing less food through small subsistence peasant farming in poor countries. So to sum it all up, 1, the resolution is superfluous. Food is already recognized as a human right by the UN. 2, the resolution has a lot of extraneous details and unrelated documents and policies that it supports. 3, the strategy of the resolution supporting subsistence farmers doesn't seem relevant or like a good idea. So I think the United States was right to vote against Food is a Human Right. I think it's kind of a deceptive title, and I think it's important to recognize that the United States is doing more than any other country to fund food for people who need it, rather than just focusing on negative headlines like the U.S. doesn't support food as a human right. When in reality, yeah, we do. It's already a human right at the UN, and we fund programs to give food to people who need it. Thanks for your time. Post behind.
Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Barakatha Yahweh, Barakatha Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, this is Akim Matrulazil, back with another quick lesson. And by the opening, 2 clips, you can see who's really ruling society, man, and they're showing what they truly support, man. These devils, the wicked, pursuant to Job 9:24, the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. And now these devils, because they know they have a short time, they're letting these people know exactly how they really feel and how they really operate, man. That's why some of these policies, laws that were so-called in place as a facade for these people to believe like, you in the United States of America, Babylon the Great, aka America, is a good place to stay. It's about equality, prosperity, righteous. You could tell all that was a facade. And these policies or these so-called rights you have, they can actually take them away from you, man, at any given moment. And these devils are actually exercising that now. By the opening clip, by the first clip, actually, where you see this perceived to be a, Judite female, and she pretty much goes into all these policies or laws that were considered human rights, that they're no longer considered human rights by definition of the United States of America, man. Babylon the Great, aka America, where they talk about what? Rape, child exploitation, prison conditions, and numerous other policies that were in play to give you people the perception that you are protected. This is the so-called best country in the world. Now, all that was a facade for you people to believe, so you can build this place up to where these devils want it, and then they're gonna what? They're gonna come down on you. You know what I'm saying? They use these. That's what this devil does, man. That's one of the one of the character traits of Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is the what? To use people, man. That's why he got these immigrants over here, and that's why they backtrack pretty much on try to deport all of them, especially at an expedient rate is because what? They know it will plummet their the workforce, man. You know, their houses that's being built. It would, you know, these houses and all these different buildings that are being built, the food, the agriculture that's being picked, they won't have the workforce to move forward along with their program, man. But nonetheless, you can see these devils, their true nature is being showed, man. And also the second clip with this Edomite, you know, I guess there was a UN meeting. For my evaluation, there was a UN meeting and 2 countries voted that food was not a human right. And they said, what was the United States of America and the fake Israeli state, man. And they were the only 2 countries that says food is not a right. And you know, they had a couple other countries that didn't vote, you know, but nonetheless, that was a meeting call for all these countries to give their yay or nay on if food was, or should they think food is a human right. They voted no, but then they try to give some explanation to why they voted. They try to say that the UN recognized that food is already a human right. So why would we, you know, try to, you know, agree to something that's already recognized on the UN level that it is a human right, right? No, because you have the obligation to what? Say yeah or no. You know what I'm saying? You can agree to it or you don't have to agree to it. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't agree to it, they won't hold you accountable to your actions. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why. But these devils want to come up with a clever explanation to confuse you simple people that says the reason why we voted no was because the UN already recognized it as a human right. So why would we, you know, pretty much agree to it? So we just going to say no. It don't make no sense, man. Of course, they're going to have a male Edomite that try to justify, which that, you know, that's typical. You're going to have these Edomites that try to justify the United States of America because this is what Basra, man. This is their empire, man. This is the wickedness that they created. Of course, you're going to have them batting or rooting for their this wicked society because this is what they built. So I wasn't surprised when that Edomite tried to alliterate and give his 2 cents on why he agreed or he see why the United States said no, that human right or food was a human right. You know, but that's these devils, man. You know, and all these people, they're just gonna go with it, man. Until what? It's gonna be way too late. And what these devils actual plans for you people, it's gonna be right there in your face. These people gonna continue their little simple life like everything's business as normal, walking around like they have no kids in the world, gossiping about other people. You know what I'm saying? While these devils on a scale of what control, they're actually dictating these simple ass people's lives, man. They rather bicker, play these nonsense games, childish, immature games, mind games, and everything else they want to play to ignore the fact of reality, man. You know, because in their simple mind, their real competition is what? You, meaning people like me. They look at me as the opposition. Not the people that's in control of these governments that's really dictating and actually that's going to come down on these simple people, man. But I'm going to just go into some precepts, man. Just the book of Isaiah 19, and I'm going to start at verse 3. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof." So this spirit of America, man, you know, everybody got this high expectation of America, like this place is the best place on the planet, you know. I'd rather be here than anywhere else. That's the mentality of a lot of these people, especially these Negroes around here, man. You know, But these devils gonna really show them that nah. And I said this not too so like I've been saying this for a while, but I said this a while ago. I said these people gonna realize that United States is the biggest dictator on the planet, man. And you can see by the moves that they're make, they're moving in position for what, man? Just like the elder said, man, we're in the beginning times of Jacob's trouble, man. Where what? They're gonna find ways, which they're doing now, to minimize food, especially organic food, man. They're going to synthetic foods or lab grown meats and foods, fruits and vegetables and stuff, Franken foods, man, where they can control everything, So that's the real reason why they said no, because they're going to have plans to what? Starve you people out, man. And they're going to say, we didn't agree to those terms. We didn't agree. So you can't hold us accountable on a global scale, So that's these devils, man. They always have, there's a reason behind their actions, man. And a lot of them is not how they try to perceive it to be. Just like that explanation of the UN saying the reason why they voted no, that food is a human right, man. But I'm going to read it again. Isaiah 19:3, it says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fall in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards." Verse 4, "And the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord." Who is that, man? What administration right now is leading this, is pretty much putting their wickedness fourth, man. You see the things that this devil is doing, man? Because really, that's how these Edomites feel, man. They don't want equality. You know what I'm saying? They don't want prosperity. They don't want to be held accountable for their actions, because their legal system is already erected, and people are accustomed to what? Going to the normality of what? Going to their judicial system, the normality of what? Seeing police in the streets, thinking that it's for the public service or public safety. Nah, man, they're there for what? To only do as these leaders command these people to do. Like, for one, who's in the administration right now? Who's in the so-called White House now, man? Who's in the White House? Well, actually, it's called the White House. The Cracker House, man. Who's in the White House, man? People like that, dictators, they use these people to their whim. That's why you see, there's calls for the National Guard and all these agents to be occupying Washington, D.C. and several other, states that they deem, crime infested. And they're going to move on these niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? Chicago, L.A., New York, etc., man. Because they're painting the narrative where when stuff go down, they won't be held accountable. There won't be no such thing as a right to a fair trial. Like you said, they're saying something about no cash bail, so they can throw you in there and, to the point that they say something about when they were talking about habeas corpus. You can't challenge your detention. So these devils are slowly coming up with ways. And this administration, I got to find, that's why, during this lesson, as soon as I started this lesson, that's what came to my mind, was there was the Trump administration press secretary came out, and this was, a couple months ago, came out and literally stated to you people that they're finding ways, and I'm quoting this, man, they're finding ways to take your people's rights away, man. That's what the press secretary said, man, out of her own mouth. White House uh, press conference, she's uttered those words, man. If they're not exact, they're similar. She said they're finding ways to take away you people's rights, man. That's what they're doing. And she went out and said that to these people, man. And you think these people in the uproar? No, they up here trying to gossip about other people around you, playing these childish games, these clown niggas trying to run game with these pale faces, thinking that they're in some secret competition with you. But these devils are planned on coming down to these sucker ass motherfuckers, and you know what? I'm waiting. I can't wait because I already know it's bound to happen, man. But these suckers don't see it. They want to ignore it. The longer they ignore it, they're convinced that it won't happen to them. As long as I don't watch TV. That's going to neglect the fact that because they don't see it, they can say it's not real. And then, they can, because that's what they do, right? Send these messages on your phone, on your, these messages on your TV, like, this is a national broadcast system. This is not a drill. The motherfuckers be like, I don't watch TV, so they will not get the message. Then they say anybody caught outside between these 2 hours, your ass is gonna be deemed arrested. And they ass just walking their dog and shit, walking outside, exercising or do whatever. And then motherfuckers just come down and arrest them. What's going on? What you didn't? You ain't get it? No, I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV, so it don't. They don't care about that shit. Like these devils, I'm just giving an example of a possibility that could happen. But like I said, that's what they devils doing. They're changing these policies, man. So what? When they do come down on you, they won't be held accountable for their actions. They said there's no, we don't consider that's a human right. We don't consider that a right at all of, like I said, rape or child exploitation. Even when it comes to motherfucker probably, murder. That's what these damn niggas, you in a certain uniform, they go around kill niggas and they pretty much get a slap on the wrist, if that, you know what I'm saying? Get a couple months in jail, if that. So they don't consider certain rights that you people think that, this is America, man. Where do they do this at? This is America. Yeah, I be hearing that echo for these motherfuckers when they talk about, certain things. They still doing this in 2025. They still got sundown towns. It's 2025. Man, get out of here, man. That's how these devils been feeling like that, man. You still seeing, there's still events. I ain't gonna say event. I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna say there's still incidents. Yeah, that's the more correct word. There's still incidences of black men or black people being hung by trees. It's 2025. Man, get out of here, man. That's how these devils always feel about you damn simple ass, clown ass niggas, man. You know what I'm saying? And that's all they doing. They're setting the stage so when shit hit the fence, they were like, you won't say, we didn't warn you. You know what I'm saying? Because you niggas, these motherfuckers, like I said, they want to ignore these real things that's being taking place. And they're convinced, that's what I'm perceiving. They're convinced that if they ignore them, it won't happen to them. Or only that's what you believe. Because that's what the Lord said, man. We're watchmen. And we're watching these devils, man. We're actually watching for the Lord, because the Lord said there's signs for his coming, and we see these signs, man. That's what we patiently waiting for, man. And we can see by this devil, we can tell the wicked, man. The only type of people that will condone this and let it go forth is the wicked. Like, say for instance, this damn nigga Obama, if he would have changed things like that, man, they were like, man, we want this motherfucker out. All these motherfuckers, the Republicans and the Democrats be gathering together, trying to damn vote this motherfucker out. If he was agreeing to changing these policies, especially regarding human rights and stuff, man. you know. But I'm gonna read that again, and I'm gonna end the lesson, man. This is Isaiah 19:5. It says, Salakia 4, and it says, and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, and a fierce king shall rule over them, saith the Lord of hosts, man. So what's going on? This dictator that's in office right now, man. You know, the policy, the thing this devil's doing, man. Who else would be able to accomplish it, man? You know what I'm saying? Even though I don't care about this nigga Obama, I'm using him, and he's nothing but a damn front man anyway, man. They try to act like they in opposition, man. He's part of the program. He's just he's a character. He has to play a fucking role, man. And so is this other devil, man. They're playing roles that they got to be in opposition because their skin tone, but actually they're part of the same. They're part of the program, which is the NWO, man. You know, but they're to keep these damn simple ass people still living in delusional. They got to still act like there's a opposition between each other because he's some ex-black president and he's a current white president, so they got to act like they're in opposition at odds and shit. Cause there's their character roles that they're playing, man. Both of them clowns are together in agreement with this NWO, man. You know. But I'm in and off there, man. Hope the body was edified. Till next time, I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh. By Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash, again, this is Aki Majulazel, Lord willing. Be back with another lesson. Till next time, Shalom, Barakatham, Baba Shalom.